Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our TNA series in TEW 2020. Of course, I am Sierra Daredevil, bringing you all of the live action. As tonight, we are continuing on the road to Bound for Glory. We will have one announced match ahead of time, as it is going to be Cheerleader Melissa taking on the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship, Velvet Sky. And we're gonna have to see if we can get some updates on some stuff. We had we've got the ongoing drama between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, who are set to compete against each other in a few weeks' time at Bound for Glory for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. We also have all sorts of other crazy stuff happening as that card continues to fill up. And here tonight in the main event, as it gets announced, as the show's opening up, is going to be Austin Aries going one-on-one with the former X Division champion himself, Kazarian, in the main event. So that should be an interesting main event. But we dive into the action in front of 5,958 people at the Pavilion at ARC in California. We open up with an 80 rated segment, starting off the show hot as AJ Styles is in the ring with Kurt Angle. The two kind of talk a little bit about the issues with MVP D'Angelo Dinero and Shelton Benjamin. Before Styles kind of turns his attention to Samoa Joe, and he says, "Joe, I don't know why why you seem to be on our side, heading into Bound for Glory, but you and I are going to do war at Bound for Glory. That much is for sure. But we both know that MVP Dinero and Benjamin are going to be lurking around, probably going to try to get involved in that matchup. So, if it's all right with you, I would like to have Kurt Angle out there at ringside as this kind of a special enforcer for that matchup to make sure that nobody gets involved and that we have just the one-on-one between the two of us and we square things up between the two of us." Joe comes out and Joe says, he gets on the mic and he basically just says, "I don't really care if Kurt's at ringside. I don't care if any of those guys come into the ring. I will beat the hell out of all of them. I'll beat the hell out of you, and I'm leaving with that TNA World Heavyweight Championship." Styles is like, "You know what? I respect it. I respect it. You and I, we have a lot of history, especially here in this company. I respect it. I respect the fact that you're coming for this gold, but I'm the phenomenal AJ Styles. You're going to have to kill me to take this title away from me." And Joe's like, "I don't think you realize they chant, 'Joe's going to kill you.' I will, if I have to get that title." Kurt kind of gets in between the two of them. It's like, hey, man, like, hey, save it for Bound for Glory. Save it for Bound for Glory. But it does get revealed by Kurt here that next week's main event, just at that point, it'll be 10 days away from Bound for Glory, will be these three teaming up to take on MVP D'Angelo Dinero and Shelton Benjamin. So that's going to be a huge, huge six-man tag main event on Impact. Angle says, "Hey, like, you guys can tear each other apart at Bound for Glory. I'm all for it. I'll be cheering on both of you. Just rip each other apart, rip each other to pieces. I don't care. But we need to get through the road to Bound for Glory to get to that show. So you guys got to work together until then." Sal's like, "Hey, I can work together. I can do it." Joe's just like, "I'll do what I want to do." Drops the mic and walks off. So who knows if Joe's going to be quite on their side ahead of that six-man tag next week, but that is what we are seeing. So next week it has been announced it will be AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, and Samoa Joe taking on MVP D'Angelo Dinero and Shelton Benjamin. 80 rated segment here. Really good stuff to see. And we also find out that Kurt Angle will be at ringside for that Joe and Styles match at Bound for Glory. Then we got the opening contest to see Beer Money defeat the Von Erichs in 8:16 when Bobby Roode pinned Marshall Von Erich with a payoff. Only got a 52. Beer Money, really good in the ring, but the Von Erichs really not that good in the ring. So Beer Money getting a decisive victory You'll notice a bit of a theme tonight, with the exception of like a couple of matches. There's a lot of let's make one side look good kind of matches tonight. There's a reason for it, but yeah. So this is the first of a couple. But Beer Money get the victory here, as they're still trying to find themselves. You know, they couldn't get the titles away from Jacobs and Cabana, so they're still trying to find themselves. They're still trying to figure out what's going on. And hell, they're not even technically booked on Bound for Glory as of right now, so they got to figure out what the hell they're going to do at this point to get on that show, if they're going to try to get on that show. But we'll have to see. But 52 rating here for this matchup. Then after that, we get a quick little interview promo thing with Christy Hemme interviewing Portia Perez and Mercedes Martinez, kind of talking about why they're targeting Candice LeRae and Evie. And Perez just kind of says, why are we targeting them? Because they're all friendly. Everybody knows that friends do not have a place here in professional wrestling. See, Mercedes and I, we're not friends, we're business partners. We go out there and we do things for business. We're not friends. We're not hanging out outside of work. We're not getting all buddy and going to the bar and drinking a beer and all that stuff. We simply show up, we beat up whoever the hell we want, and we leave. There's no room for friends in professional wrestling. There's no room for friends here in TNA. And if those two want to pretend that they're friends, then that's fine. But we have no room for friends. We have no room for losers who pretend to be friends like them. We only have room for those. We only have room for the two of us atop of the world here in TNA. 36 rating here. So apparently they just don't like the fact that Evie and Candice LeRae are friends. That's apparently what we're getting here with this. I don't know if that's going to be the full story. Maybe that's what they're just telling us right now, but that's what they're telling us at the moment. So, and then Mercedes Martinez goes out to the ring, and she defeats Taryn Terrell in 7:27 by pinfall to Fisherman Buster. 38 rating for the match. 41 from Martinez, 21 from Terrell, as Martinez gets a pretty decisive victory. Looking good in the process. Yeah, 41 from Martinez. Trying to get her a bit more popularity because she needs it. She's still considered unimportant. That's why the match cooled the crowd. And I don't think she should be. I think she should be considered at least recognizable at this point. But unfortunately, my Knockouts division does not have a lot of people who are recognizable or higher at this point. But we're working on it. Then after that, we have we have a promo, that is, with Christopher Daniels, kind of talking about the main event tonight and talking about how the so-called greatest man that ever lived goes up against a true warrior in Kazarian, his buddy, his friend. And he knows that Kazarian is going to easily get the job done against Austin Aries in the main event tonight, and just prove that Austin Aries is nothing like he claims to be. He's not any sort of greatness at all. He is simply just a liar who pretends that he is great, when everybody knows that the fallen angel is the true voice of judgment, the true voice of greatness, and that he truly is the greatest that's ever lived, period. So he just kind of steals the nickname, but he cuts out the man part, so he just calls himself the greatest that's ever lived, period. 58 rating. It's hoping for a little bit better, but I'll take it. Got the crowd back into it, so that's a good thing there. Then after that, Adam Cole defeats Rhett Titus in 9-10 by pinfall to flying crossbody. 54 rating for the match, 52 from Cole, 41 from Titus. Continuing on the feud between Future Shock and House of Truth, but unfortunately, House of Truth unable to get the job done here. It only got a 54, which is kind of disappointing to lose heat for the storyline, but that's fine. We'll make it up in the future. But Adam Cole getting the victory over Rhett Titus here. Nobody from either side really at ringside for this, other than Shaul Guerrero, as you see there. Because the idea was that Daredevil apparently banned everybody from ringside other than Shaul, because she had the manager's license for Rhett Titus. So everybody else was banned from ringside, and Cole got the victory in that match. Then after that, apparently Jeff Hardy did not do well without a script. So, take that as you will. But Jeff Hardy has a promo after that where he says, he's clearly kind of beat up right now. He's kind of bandaged up a little bit after the attack by Abyss and the rest of Team Dixie recently, a couple weeks ago on Impact. Jeff says that he is not feeling great. He's beat up. He's hurt, all that kind of stuff. But when he found out that he was going to be taking on Abyss at Bound for Glory, he immediately started trying to do what he could to get better because he wants to take on Abyss. He wants to make him pay for what happened, and he wants to help fight back against Team Dixie. He wants to help defend TNA against Team Dixie and put an end to them once and for all. After he's been dealing with it for a very long time now, he wants to finally shut Dixie Carter up, and he's going to do so by taking out her monster Abyss. So we'll have to see how that ends up playing out for them. But yeah, nice little Jeff Hardy promo here. Still not, kayfabe, he's still not fully recovered enough to compete yet, but he is getting better, and he's focused on returning to be able to fight Abyss at Bound for Glory. Speaking of Abyss, he goes out to the ring and he has a 61 rated matchup with Tigre Uno with a wins at 7:34 by pinfall with Black Hole Slam. 62 from Abyss, 42 from Tigre Uno. Like I said, a few matches that are meant to make people look good. There wasn't much behind this. Tigre Uno tried to get a couple, bits of offense in, but this match was mostly just Abyss, tossing Tigre Uno around and then showboating about it a little bit. So 61 rating for the match there, as Abyss gets the victory and gets some more momentum heading into Bound for Glory. Then we get an angle with MVP, D'Angelo Dinero and Shelton Benjamin, which gets 60, which is respectable, where they're kind of talking about how they don't care if Kurt Angle's at ringside at Bound for Glory. They can, it's 3 of them and 1 of Kurt Angle, so they could still easily overpower him if they want, but, maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want to do the damage next week in that 6-man tag match and make sure that the Bound for Glory main event doesn't even happen. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to do enough damage that they force Daredevil, they blackmail Daredevil into putting one of them or even all 3 of them into that main event. Who knows? They don't even know exactly what they're going to do because that's how dangerous they are. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And there's nothing that Daredevil, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, or anyone else in TNA can do about it. 60 rating here, as they are apparently threatening the main event of Bound for Glory now. So that's interesting to see. Then after that, we have our Knockouts Division matchup, which gets a 61 rating. Holy crap. Velvet Sky defeats Cheerio Melissa in 13:03 by pinfall, the double knee backbreaker. 61 rating for the match, 59 from Velvet Sky, 48 from Cheerio Melissa. Dude, Velvet Sky is just consistently getting better and better in this save right now. Like, she is just quickly becoming a star. Like, she was fighting for the Knockouts Championship at the start of the save and doing okay against Madison Rayne, but like this version of Velvet Sky now, this dominant version that she's just been like consistently getting better, now getting people to, now having a match that's a 61 rating, this version of Velvet Sky may end up being like a big time player in the Knockouts division in the future. Obviously, I mean, she's got a title shot at Bound for Glory, but she may be like hitting another level right now, as Melissa does put up a valiant effort, but she is unable to get the job done against a Velvet Sky here, as Velvet gets momentum heading into Bound for Glory. Speaking of those two, afterwards, Angelina Love shows up and the two attack Cheerleader Melissa until Madison Rayne comes running out to make the save. It only gets 44 rating. It's what it is. But the Knockouts champion coming to the rescue of her recent opponent, who has just been trying to earn respect from everyone. And so Rayne's able to come out and help make the save and help Melissa fight off Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. So we'll have to see where things head forward with that. Then after that, tag team action gets a 66 rating. Hell yeah, it does. Paulin and Brian Kendrick defeat the Motor City Machine Guns at 13:02 when London pinned Shelley with the Shooting Star Press after Davey Richards distracted Alex Shelley in this matchup here. 66 rating. Brian Kendrick was a weak link. He had a 51. 62 from London, Sabin, and Shelley, all 3 together. Really great to see. I feel like that might be one of the Shelley's better in-ring performances in this save. He's usually like a little bit lower than that, but I'll gladly take it. Gains heat for the storyline between the Guns and the Wolves, uh, and gets London and Kendrick a victory, but, it is because of a distraction, so it's a victory, but it's kind of a little bit of tainted victory, so it keeps some momentum with the Guns. But nice, really, really great back and forth match between these two teams that sees the Guns lose because of the distraction, which, to be fair, I mean, they've been getting involved with a lot of Wolf stuff recently, so kind of came back to bite them in the ass on this one. But there you go, London Kendrick getting a big victory here, here on Impact. And then before the main event, we have a 68 rated promo here as Magnus and Mickie James come out to the ring, and they are just, well, they're laughing. They're laughing at this point. They're like, Magnus is like, you have the greatest male competitor in this company who just so happens to be gladly together with the greatest female wrestler in this company. Hell, we may be the greatest wrestling couple in the entire business as a whole. And you're going to put us in the ring with a nobody and a part-timer who's in charge of running the knockout side of things in this company. That's what you're going to do for us at Bound for Glory. You're wasting two of the greatest talents in TNA on those two at Bound for Glory. Why in the hell would we even bother with this match? Why would we simply just not throw them into like the barricades on the outside and get a count out victory easily? Why would we simply just make sure that they can't make it to the ring, beat the hell out of them with the rest of Team Dixie, and get an easy, quick victory? Why would we waste our time on any sort of a match with these two? And that's when yours truly comes out. And, well, we come out, get on the microphone, and we say, you know what? In a way, you're kind of right. Magnus, you're former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Mickie James, you came one match away, one victory away. In fact, both of you actually came one victory away from going to Bound for Glory to fight for the TNA Knockouts and TNA World title, respectively. So you're right. Why would you face Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis in a tag match? Other than the fact that you've been consistently annoying us for months now. Why would you do that? You're right. You see, Dixie Carter, the woman who's been running your little team here for a while now, came to me many weeks ago with a proposition. A proposition that, well, quite frankly, I never considered for a second. In fact, it was laughable that she was ever going to have me consider it. She came to me with a proposition where she wanted me to backstab Maria and put Dixie in charge, so her and I could share the ownership here, or share the authority here in TNA, and we could run the show together. We could run this company together as a unstoppable duo and all that stuff. And I was laughing. I was laughing my ass off about it. Because let's be honest, that's freaking hilarious. The fact that I ever would allow Dixie to be having any authority whatsoever again is laughably hilarious. But it got me thinking. It got me thinking about something. So you know what? You're right. Two of you are right. There's no drive for you two to be competing in this matchup. There's no desire for the two of you to be competing against Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis at Bound for Glory. So, why don't I put the desire there for the two of you? You see, for weeks now, for months now, you've gone on and on. Magnus, you have gone on and on ever since you lost the TNA World title to AJ Styles. You've gone on and on about wanting to get that title back. And Mickey, you've been going on and on and on about wanting a shot at the Knockouts title after you lost at Slammiversary as well. So here's what I'm going to do for the two of you. Should you win at Bound for Glory against Mike Bennett and Marie Kanellis, and of course Magnus interjects, "You mean when we win?" And I kind of pause. I'm like, should you win against those two, then you get what you want. You both will get a title match for the respective titles at any point between Bound for Glory and the end of the year. Any point in time during that time, 2 months' time, you just come to my office, you knock on my door, you say, "I want my title shot." You can even say, "I want my title shot tonight." And it's going to happen. Guaranteed shots at the TNA World Heavyweight and TNA Knockouts Championships. And the two of them are just, they perk up. They're like, "All right, see? We knew you were a man of the people. We knew that you would be willing to do the right thing to provide us the right opportunities. We knew that you would do the right thing and make sure that the proper people got the title opportunities that they deserve. Thank you for that." And they both, reach out, they shake my hand, and they leave the ring. And then I'm like, I wasn't done. They kind of stop and turn around confused. Should the two of you win, you will get what you want. You will get your title matches. However, should Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett win at Bound for Glory, you can say bye to Dixie Carter. Because at Bound for Glory, if Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett defeat the two of you, she's gone from TNA. Crowd goes absolutely nuts. They're just like left with just shocked looks on their faces. And that's when we just kind of smirk and say, "Hope you two are ready for Bound for Glory," before we drop the mic and leave the ring. Magnus immediately goes chasing after us, but we are, through the crowd, heading to the back. So there it is. The stipulations for that mixed tag match at Bound for Glory. If Magnus and Mickie James win, they get the singles title opportunities that they've been hoping for, that they've been asking for months now. But if Maria and Mike Bennett win, Dixie Carter is gone from TNA Wrestling. Huge stipulations behind this matchup. We're going to have to see what ends up happening there. But as crazy as that is, we have a main event to get to. And that main event gets a 71 rating. As in the main event, Austin Aries, in a back and forth matchup with Kazarian, does defeat him in 12-16 by submission with the last chancery to get the victory here and get some more momentum ahead of Bound for Glory. 70 rating from Austin Aries, 58 from Kazarian. Christopher Daniels was at the commentary desk during this and obviously was not too happy about Kazarian losing. And the show kind of ends. I didn't do it as a segment because I kind of ran out of time, but the show kind of ends basically with just Aries standing in the ring celebrating and Daniels staring at him from the commentator desk. So just kind of a little bit of a far distance stare down with each other. So there you go. Impact this week gets a 71 rating. Increase our popularity in 9 regions. Got to work on this restricted stuff, but to be fair, we have to wait until our contracts are up, our broadcasting deals are up, before I can work on those. But hey, I will gladly take a 71. Gladly will take a 71. So there you go. We have big time stipulations for that mixed tag match at Bound for Glory. We have a big time 6-man tag match next week on Impact in the main event. And a whole bunch of other crazy stuff happening on that show. Son of a bitch. I was going to say the word and then I said the word. But before we go and look at Explosion, and before we go and look at the ratings, we have to look at the fact that someone is coming for one of our talent, because WWE has apparently made a contract offer to Mercedes Martinez. I really like Mercedes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to compete with a WWE contract for her, especially because I don't know if I'm going to be offering her that much. I have plans for her, but she's also not like somebody who I would consider a, need to lock her down, because I'm going to be pushing her as a top star in our company talent right now. Obviously, if she was going to continuously keep getting better, that would be different. But she had a 41 in-ring performance just now, so I don't know. Her popularity's been going up a little bit, despite how much we've been featuring her. It's only been going up a little bit, so I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I will have to think about that. But we will go ahead and look at the show history really quick, because we will look at Explosion. Explosion saw a angle with our tag team champions, Jimmy Jacobs and Colt Cabana. They cut a promo on their Bound for Glory opponents, that is, EC3 and Rockstar Spud, which got 67. We saw Allie get a bit of a upset victory over Angelina Love. We saw Brian Kendrick and Paul London kind of talking about how excited they were about the fact that they won on Impact, and how they're looking to try to get themselves, in a great position here in TNA as a tag team. We saw Red Dragon defeat the Bromans. We saw EC3 and Rockstar Spud have a promo themselves about their tag team championship match at Bound for Glory. And we saw a 6 knockouts tag match that saw the Decay of Daphne, Katrina Waters, and Rosemary defeat Santana Garrett, Candice LeRae, and Evie when Rosemary pinned Santana Garrett in that matchup. So Decay getting a victory there. I don't know if I actually mentioned. I think I might have mentioned on screen that we hired Daphne and made her the manager / part-time wrestler in the Decay. But we did. I haven't really done a whole lot with the Decay on screen. I think I might have brought it up, just because they're not great right now. Even Rosemary at this point in this save in 2014 is not great. In fact, in that matchup, I think she had. Let me look real quick. Yeah, in the matchup in that match, she was the best in-ring performer, and she had a 36. So she's also not great at this point. So we got to keep working on her. But as you see there, Daphne had a 35. So it's not like she's really far off from everybody else in this match. But it was a nice 6-woman tag match that was put on Explosion so they could get more popularity, because, as you see, it got a 28 because of the lack of popularity there. So, but yeah, there was that. Ratings wise, better show of the night. NXT had a 60. Saw Nick Dinsmore and Hideo Itami defeating Corey Graves and Oliver Gray in the main event. So there's that. It also had 3 DQ matches on the show, which is kind of crazy. 2 on the pre-show. Why would you run a pre-show match and have that end by DQ? What are you doing that for? Like, how are you, like, you're just running that? I guess you're running that for the crowd in, at the arena, but like, why are you doing it by DQ? I guess I can't say that much because they do DQs on house shows, but still, it's kind of weird to me. Anyway, Ring of Honor had a 54. Saw the Damaja, Bully Ray, and Scott Steiner defeat Josh Barnett and the Briscoes. The Damaja is in ROH now. That's awesome. Danny Basham is in ROH right now. And he was on the winning side of a 6-man tag match in the main event. That's awesome. He's got 52 in-ring performance. That's not terrible. That's hilarious, though. But, yeah. As usual, as you see, TNA Impact outdoing everyone else on that night. And we'll have to see what happens. So we will have, next week, we'll have that big 6-man tag match in the main event. We'll have to see what other things happen 10 days out from Bound for Glory. And see what all happens there. But thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate all the support you continue to have for the series, for the channel, all that stuff like I normally say. And we will see you all in a future video.